Okay, so this is going to be a guide on masking within Photoshop. Masking is a really powerful tool. It can allow you to do lots and lots of different things. For this demonstration, I'm going to be showing you how to change the color of this car. I'm going to try and make the paint from blue to green by using layer masks. But it doesn't mean to say you have to use this to change the color of something. You could use this to apply any effect to a specific part of an image. It doesn't just have to be for color, it could be for any single adjustment you can make within Photoshop. So this is just the image open as it is. What we want to be doing first is right clicking on the background layer and duplicate layer. I'm going to give it a name. I'm going to call it green because I want to change the color of the car to green. So a really quick way to do this would be to go to Image, Adjustments, Hue and Saturation. And then when I adjust the hue, that is going to change the color of the car. But what you can see is that it's changed everything on the whole image, which is not what we want. We want to be able to see just the paintwork of the car. So this is where layer masks come in. So what we can do down at the bottom of the layers panel, if you hover your mouse over any of these, then it will tell you what they are, like so. So it will say add layer mask there. It's just coming off the screen there, but you can see what it says, add layer mask. And you'll get used to what these mean and you won't need to necessarily do that eventually. But we've got add layer mask there, so I'm going to click that and you can see up here it's given me a white box next to my second duplicated layer. This is our layer mask. So this isn't a white screen over the top, this is a mask. And this can either be white or black. White will allow the effect through, so it will allow the change we've made on this layer to be visible. If we press Control I or Command I on the keyboard, that will change the mask to black, which is blocking the effect. And we can see that because the car has gone back to blue. So using this logic, white will allow the effect through, black will block the effect. Whatever effect it is, doesn't have to be the color. They all work, masks work in the same way, whatever effect you've applied. So now we want to just have the paint of the car change to green. So what we need to do that is get a brush on the left hand side, just a normal brush. I'm going to set it, you can right click on your mouse to nice and easily change the size rather than going to the top left. What I'm then going to do down here is make sure I have a white brush. So keeping with that logic, white will allow through, black will block. We'll make sure we have our layer mask selected, not the picture. So make sure we're on our mask. Then when we paint white, it will allow the effect to come through. So I'm just going to do this really quickly. I'm going to speed up the footage. Okay, so now that I've done that, there's a few areas that I want to tidy up. So you can see over here, I've gone over the line a bit, just from not being too careful, but it's a really easy way that we can remedy that. If I change my white brush to a black brush, now a really quick, easy way of doing that is just pressing X on the keyboard, and that can toggle through white and black. So I want to go back to black, and black will essentially be our eraser. It's going to add back to the layer mask black, and that will take away from the effect that we've made. And there's another little bit down here, I think, just down there where it's going a little bit purple, and on the wheel over here. So you can see there that has given me a really nice even effect, just affecting the paint of the car. Hasn't convinced me that I'm going to make my car green. But just remember, you can use this technique for any effect that you want. But an important point to note is that what we're doing here by working on a separate layer from the background layer is non-destructive editing. And that's a really important term, and important to understand how this is working, because we're not destroying anything from the original image. Everything we do is completely reversible. So we can always go back and make changes if we want to. Nothing is set in stone. So once I'm finished with the image, and this is true for any picture you're working on with layers in Photoshop, a good way of doing it is right-clicking on any layer you're working on, flatten image, which will make it one image, get rid of all the layers, and then we go up to File, Save As, wherever you want it to be saved, give it a name. I'm going to call this one green, and select, instead of Photoshop document, we want to be choosing JPEG, just normal JPEG, and then save. Sometimes when this little box comes up, it might say your quality is 8, something like that. Just make sure you drag that up to 12, the highest amount. It'll just make sure your quality is the highest. The only time you might want to reduce that is if you're uploading to an online service like Facebook, where they have size restrictions, for example. And there we go, all done.